Hey, everybody. So I wanted to talk about the biggest news story of the day yesterday as far as local news is concerned. No, it wasn't the governor's visit to Manassas. No, it wasn't the fact that Micron Corporation will invest $3 billion into the local economy and hire 1,100 new people, scientists, to develop self-driving cars. Um, you might think that would be the big story of the day, but actually it was Sonic. Sonic is coming to Prince William County, and folks, that was big news yesterday. Now, we didn't have that on our website, but if you look at some of the other websites, you will see let's see, for instance, I don't think I'm doing this correctly, but I do want to. I'm going to share my entire screen. How about that? If you look at the other websites here, Inside Nova, Sonic reportedly coming to Manassas. If you look at Prince William Times, there it is. Sonic Drive-In could open in Manassas. Could. We don't even know it's coming. There's could open. I hate when we use words like could in headlines. You either do or you don't, or anyway. So, Uriah, why are you freaking out about Sonic? Why don't you just go ahead and put the story on your website and call it a day? Probably will do that. We'll link to the websites, the Inside Nova or Prince William Times, depending upon who has the better story. But people love stories like this. People want to know when they see construction coming up out of the ground. They want to know what it is, right? If they see an empty spot, they want to know what's going to go there. These stories have historically always done well on our site, and it's part of the reason why I'm big on the new in town stories, because again, people love to get that's local news. They love to get that. I want to find out when new things are coming, where they can go hang out with their friends and family, and where they can spend their hard-earned money and have some fun. It's all about fun, and everybody wants to be the first to know, right, what's coming, so they can tell their friends, oh yeah, did you know? Oh, you don't know that? Oh, well, where have you been? That type of thing. So there is a way to find out this stuff, because before a Sonic or anything gets built, it has to go through the county's planning and zoning department, and they have to issue planning and zoning permits before buildings are built. And both Prince William County and Stafford County have planning and zoning permits that are issued. It's a big, sometimes years-long process of getting these permits reviewed, approved, and ultimately, and if a piece of property needs to be rezoned, for instance, if it's zoned for farming and they want to build a shopping mall there, then that's an issue that rises all the way up to the Board of Supervisors. And the Board of Supervisors typically holds a public hearing, and people will say, yes, we need more shopping malls, or no, we don't need any more traffic. Please don't approve this rezoning. And those are also big news stories for us too, especially when it comes to housing developments that bring in hundreds of homes, because that has impacts on schools and roads and county resources and what have you. So, but anyway, if you now I'm going to show you the tool in Prince William County. It's called the Prince William Mapper, and anyone can come and look at this tool, right? It's not the easiest tool in the world to use, but I've seen more difficult tools as well. I promise you, if you use this tool and you find something cool, you will not only be the first person on your street to know what's coming, and what it could be, and what the permits are, and what new fun things are coming around the bend. Then you can tell everybody, and that's essentially our job as reporters anyway, right? We live to spread the news. But if you pitch me something cool and fun that you found on County Mapper and say, hey, Uriah, will you pay me to write about this? 9 times out of 10, yeah, I will definitely pay you to write about this, because we want to be first with the Sonic story, right? So sure, yeah, we're going to link to the Sonic story on Inside Nova or Prince William Times, like I said, whichever one has a better story. But we're still a news organization. We still want to break news, and that is big local news. And if we can, as a news organization, break that news, I will certainly pay you all day long to do it. So let me go ahead and pull up the. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the county mapper. I'm going to show you how to get to it. So Alyssa Milano is there on my desktop, just in case. We did the story on Alyssa Milano the other day, and I just haven't deleted that. I just don't have a random picture of Alyssa Milano on my desktop, folks, so don't get any ideas. All right, so that's the Prince William County mapper, right? And what you're going to see here is you're going to come to this map. And these little tools up here are very important because they're going to determine what you're going to be able to view. It's kind of like Photoshop. If you've ever used Photoshop, it's kind of, you work in layers, right? So you can zoom in, you can go up and down, and then you can zoom into any part of the map, and you can drag around. So it's if you use Google Maps, it's not that much different. It goes down to street level mapping. Here is 95. Here is Route 1. This is Potomac Town Center. So if you came to the reporter's lunch, this is where we had lunch. We had lunch right in here at Not Your Average Joe's. And so it really gives you, just like Google Maps, some detail of overhead of the lay of the land. But in addition to all of that, which you can easily get on Google Maps without coming here, you can go up here to layers, and then you can select what you want to see. And this will tell you where public utilities are. This will tell you where conservation easements for the environment are. This will tell you land records, who owns property, where the roadways are. So all kinds of stuff in here. So we're going to click land development, and then we're going to tag planning and zoning cases. So you'll remember I said when projects come up, they have to get approved by the planning and zoning department. So we're going to click on pending planning cases, because these are all the properties that are being reviewed right now by the county's planning and zoning department. And essentially what happens is a business like Sonic says, hey, I want to put a Sonic at this location. Can I do it? And so the planning and zoning department goes in and they take a look at the site, and they go back and look at their rule book and figure out what is the appropriate use for this piece of property. Can a fast food restaurant be located here? Or is it appropriate? Did any modifications need to be made for the property? And then they do a whole report. That's why I said it could take years before it ever gets approved. And especially in a case with a fast food restaurant, fast food restaurants, they have drive-through windows. You need what's called a special use permit to have a drive-through window. So a McDonald's can be built. And if they don't want a drive-through window, they can just kind of build in a commercial center. But if they want a fast food window, then drive-through window, then they need to go in front of the Board of Supervisors and get approval. So it's kind of extra government regulation, whatever, but it's a way for the government to make money. The local government charges the business owners handsomely for this kind of stuff. But anyway, as I digress, back to the map. Here is a look at, I'm going to zoom out. Here's a look at every pending planning case in Prince William County as we speak, right? And so what I want to do is I want to find out what's what, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to come here to Manassas. So you're not going to see what's in Manassas City, right? You can see the outlines here. The city is obviously not in the county. And so you're going to see properties, you're going to see colors here on the edge of the city, because those are in the county. And so if I click on this, before I click on the thing, I'm going to go up here so again, we selected layers, land development, pending planning cases. And then I clicked on this eye. right? And I want to, it's my identify tool. So I want to click that, click to identify. And yeah, let's see, this is exactly what, it's not the easiest. It doesn't work exactly how you think it would work. Okay, so what am I doing wrong here? Click to identify. I want to, no, I don't need to know the jurisdictions. No, I just want, this is always what trips me up with this thing here. No, see, these are special use permits, and there's plenty of them all across the county. That's why they just went orange there. Okay, let's see. Pending planning cases. Okay, all right. All right, so that's what I did. All right, so here's the steps. Layers, land development, pending planning cases, then come over here to the I, and then make sure pending planning cases is checked. And then when you go click on any one of these properties, you're going to see information over here in the right panel. And it's going to pop up and it's going to tell you exactly what that property is, so and what's going on here. So it looks like this one is a this case type over here is a rezoning, and it's going to tell us that Prince William Station, long range used for 450. It looks like homes. Allow for a maximum 2,000 residential units. It's a lot of homes. I guess we should be writing about this. And then and it'll give you the planning case number. And then this is a rezoning, right? REZ. So this is going to go to the Board of Supervisors, and we can find out when it's scheduled to go. If it's scheduled to go by clicking on this planning case number thing, this link here. And so this will tell us more. This is where we kind of drill down. We can kind of see that we can get the people, the attorney who is representing the property, Walsh, Colucci, and Lubelai. We can get primary address information. We can get the name of the planner who is working on this case. You can actually read, I think, if you click, you can download the entire submission from the attorney to the county. You can see where they are. It looks like they haven't moved on this thing. It's been pending since May of 2016. So, and it was started in 2014. So it's, that's sort of the history of this particular case that they're working on. You can see that here the fire marshal has reviewed it. The police department has reviewed the, so every time one of these one of these proposals comes forward, part of the review process, and it involves every county agency, fire, police, parks and rec, schools. They all take a look at it, and they all weigh in and say, hey, this is what we think about this development. If you're going to build 2,000 homes, we're going to need more fire trucks, or we're going to need more schools, or so they all kind of weigh in, and that becomes part of the final plan, the report that is issued to the Board of Supervisors. So this is actually, this looks like a big case, but it hasn't moved since 2016, so it's kind of stale at this point. But my point is, you could, if you're a real nerd like me, you can come in here and just get lost in the sauce here, and looking at some stuff. I mean, you can kind of come back in here and click, and it'll tell you all of these different areas. I know we wrote a story. This is how actually we wrote a story. You can Google it on our site, about the Boy Scout gun range. I found that story right here. No one was talking about it, and I saw this big yellow blotch up here in Haymarket, and I clicked on it, and I said, cool, they want to build a gun range right next to 66. Isn't that fun? What would that mean? Because here's 66, right? And here's this gun range. And so are we going to see bullets flying across 66? If they're stray bullets, will they hit any moving cars? So Jane took on that story, and Jane did a fantastic job with that story. And again, nobody else was talking about it because I guess nobody was looking at the map, right? So this map here is very good at telling us what's coming and what's going. And like I said, I could be a lot better myself at looking at this map and getting exclusive stories and breaking news about Sonic and everything else that's coming to Prince William County. And like I said, Stafford has a similar map as well. So I encourage you to dive in if you're curious and you want to make some extra cash and you want to be sort of the breaking news business hero of Potomac Local, and you want to pitch me stories about what's coming up. I tell you, I buy them all day long because it's what people want to know. And if you look at the map and you kind of familiarize yourself with the way it works, it will tell you kind of everything you ever wanted to know and what you even more what you didn't want to know. This is how you find out what is coming to the area. So so this is interesting. This one right here, Inside Nova and Prince William Times actually, I think Inside Nova actually wrote about this one. This is a storage center for Dale City. They want to put like a U store or something like that. I actually grew up across the street from here, but so it's going to give you the planning case number, and you click on that, and you can go in and you can find out, how many acres this property will be on, what it will look like. Let's see. Let's see. So normally you click on that and it comes up. I don't know why it's not coming up. But so Inside Nova did their story about, let me pull that up and show you the story that they did about the storage place. And of course people, got all up in arms because it's a new development and people think that instead of a storage place, yeah, here it is. No, well, it's kind of the same thing. All this was written back in 2017. People think that, hey, why do we need another storage place? Why can't we have a Neiman Marcus instead? And they know darn well that they're never going to get a Neiman Marcus where the storage place or the McDonald's or wherever it wants to go. But people have their own ideas the way things should be, so they'll comment on there anyway. And again, it's people are interested in these types of stories, and you can find these types of stories by coming on the map and selecting layers, land development, pending planning cases, then coming over here to the eye and then checking pending planning cases. And then you can let the imagination go wild over here and clicking on all the colored yellows and greens and purples and mauves and pinks and different colors there. And it will show you what's coming. And it is a good way to stay in the loop and impress your friends with your knowledge of what's coming. And it's also a good way to pitch the publisher at Potomac Local some good stories, and you get paid for it. These are really quick, easy writes. And you can simply the planning department they're really great about getting back to us as well. When we email them some information or request for information, they love talking about this kind of stuff because they love the fact the press is taking an interest in what it is that they do, and they're more than happy to work with us and talk about their jobs and the plans and the things that are coming. So that is it in a nutshell. I will post this video in Asana about the county mapper. Again, the governor comes to town, who cares? We're getting a Sonic, and that's big news. All right, talk to you guys later.